Welcome back. Time now for our daily dose of culture. Today we start with fashion. It's 2 days until Christmas, as you can perhaps see by my almost festive white tie, and the mad rush has begun to find those last-minute gifts. But we are kind people here at France 24, and to save you the stress, we can give you some very practical, if not fashionable tips. Jessica Michault, the on-style editor of the International Herald Tribune, of course, our fashion expert in-house here. Jessica, what can you do to help these fashionistas? 48 hours left till Christmas.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's all about one-stop shopping. And for the fashionistas on your list, I would suggest heading to your local bookstore.
I always think books are pretty predictable, a little bit like socks. What makes these so fashionable?
Well, this year there have been a lot of amazing fashion books that have come out. And what I love about these giant coffee table fashion books is that you really do get a lot of bang for your buck. Beautiful photos of beautiful people in beautiful locations that make you dream for all less than maybe €100.
So almost Santa Claus also feeling the effects of the credit crunch under €100 then?
Yes, a bit. So I've picked 4 books for Santa's new budget. The first book that I've picked is called The Private World of Yves Saint Laurent and Pierre Bergère, written by Robert Murphy. This book is a real treasure because you get an inside glimpse at the really intimate world of one of fashion's greatest designers. There are photos of 8 different locations where Pierre Bergère and Yves Saint Laurent passed their lives together, from the 4 homes of Yves Saint Laurent himself to Pierre Bergère's home, to their offices, even to the foundation on Avenue Marceau, here in Paris. You get to see everything from Yves Saint Laurent.
They're both very fashionable dresses anyway.
They were definitely fashions, the best of the best. You get everything from Yves Saint Laurent's bedroom on Rue de Babylone to the memorial that was put up in Marrakesh for him after he passed away in 2008. But what I love the most about this book particularly is how you get to see where he lived. He was so influenced by art and fashion, and that you could see Chagall's influence on some of his creations. You could see Monet's influence on some of his outfits. So to see them actually living and breathing these places, it warms the heart. And these photos were taken just in 2008, just after Yves Saint Laurent passed away. And it's really a collector's item because, of course, many of the pieces that you see in these photos were sold on auction, so they don't exist anymore.
So you might say a book that is perfect for lovers of interior design and Yves Saint Laurent, but it's not very focused on fashion, is it, Jessica? Higher art for the more pretentious among us.
Maybe you think so. I think if you're looking for something that's a bit more fashion-based, then I think your best bet is probably Backstage Dior by Roxane Loet. It's a safe bet. It's for anyone who's seen a Dior show live in the front row, as I know you have, to people who watch it on TV. This gives you a real insider's look as to the madness of the production that goes on before you actually see that amazing presentation on the catwalk. Loet photographed the collections for 10 years backstage, and the book really has an up-close and personal feel about it. The shots are very candid. You see up-close details of the hair and the makeup, and the photos are in color and black and white, and you really get to see an evolution of the style of Jean Galliano from when he first arrived at Dior until 10 years later when he's really made the House of Dior his own.
Now, these photos, of course, look in true Galliano style over the top. What is great about these books that you're showing us is that they are kind of good for more than fashion followers. They can appeal to more humble people who like perhaps interior design or photography.
Or dogs.
Or dogs. Tell us more. What do you mean? You have a fashion book where dogs get dressed or something like this?
Well, not exactly. There's a book that just came out about 2 weeks ago called Dogs in Vogue, and it was written by Judith...
I've heard everything now, I think, in life.
It's by Judith Watt, and it celebrates 100 years of canine chic in the pages of course, the fashion Bible Vogue. So this book is great for dog lovers, it's great for fashion lovers, and it's great for photography lovers because it brings together the best of all of those areas into one sleek coffee book. But what I like about this book is how you get to see how the different dogs from different decades not only dress up a photo, but really enhance it with their own presence.
But what about people with this perceived moralist guilt at Christmas? They want to give presents, but they also want to give a little bit back, give a little bit to people that are less fortunate than themselves.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have for them?
Well, actually, Gucci has come up with a great solution to that problem. They teamed up this year with the amazing illustrator Michault to create a sequel to his popular children's book, A Snowman in Paradise. The new book is called Snowman in Africa, and it will be exclusively sold until the 31st of December in Gucci stores and on Gucci.com. The book only costs $25, and 100% of all the proceeds go to UNICEF. But Gucci didn't stop there. They were smart enough to come out with a limited edition of handbags, keychains, and small leather goods that are all inspired by Robert's book. They are also only on sale until December 31st, and 25% of all of those pieces also go to UNICEF. This is the 5th year that Gucci has created original collections designed by Frida Giannini, the house designer, to benefit UNICEF. So it's actually, if you feel good, luxury purchases made easy by Gucci.
Right, so the devil wears Prada, but the angels wear Gucci. I don't know. Without willing to pry into your stocking, what is on your Christmas list, Jessica?
Well, I hope I have all 4 of these books under the tree when I wake up on the morning of Christmas Day, and maybe even if I've been really, really good, maybe one of those Gucci snowman bags as well.
Jessica Michault, thank you very much for sharing your stocking with us here on France 24. Well, we'll see you next week when we give us a roundup of the best in fashion in 2009. Well, we leave fashion well behind now for a more moving look at war photography. Dating back from the siege of Sarajevo during the Bosnian War from 1992 to 1995. 15 years ago, the Andre Malraux Cultural Centre was born in the heart of Sarajevo. It's a place where the horrors of the war are remembered. To mark the 15th anniversary, there is a commemorative exhibition called Our History. Let's now take a look.
It's been 14 years since Enrico was in Sarajevo. His war pictures have been published all over the world. Today, together with 17 other photographers and for the 15th anniversary of the Independent Cultural Center Andre Malraux, these images come back to Sarajevo.
Now that I'm really in front of it, I'm looking at it, I believe I do recognize the place. It's very hard to recognize Sarajevo when you only knew it in wartime, because it's so different. People walk in the streets, there's no noise of shelling.
The French Cultural Center was established when the war was still raging, in order to fight against cultural emptiness that came with the violence and to prepare for the time when rebuilding would replace guns. For Francis Bueb, the founder of this center, Bosnia is still not able to raise its head even 15 years after the war.
I'm often surprised, or even more and more surprised, that one confuses peace with calmness in the streets. This country is an orphan of a fearful Europe.
Many cultural figures came to the event. Comic strip author Enki Bilal, actress Jane Birkin, as well as artists, journalists, and the singer Rodolphe Berger, who composed songs for Sarajevo, all got involved in this exhibition.
Sarajevo, c'est pas par hasard que Sarajevo a été la ville martyre de cette guerre, c'est que c'était justement le symbole.
It's no accident that Sarajevo was the martyr city of this war.
Une ville où on cohabitait.
It's precisely because it was a city where very many different national groups easily coexisted. Sarajevo was the symbol of a successful Europe.
C'est le symbole presque d'une Europe réussie, parce que voilà, c'est une des petites villes utopiques.
It was a small utopia. And the fact that one wanted to inflict upon this place the principles of national and ethnic divide, that's absolutely terrifying.
The exhibition will take place in France and in other European countries in 2010. The post-war period is not real peace in Bosnia. The country is deeply divided and the international community is not involved enough. The challenge of transition yet remains to be taken.
Well, that's a wrap for Culture. And with that of course brings us to the end of this news hour. Hannah Hoxter is back at the top with more news. Stay tuned for that.